Hey guys, welcome back. So, I know it's been a while, but today I'm going to show you how to make these doors with very basic tools, a router, screw gun, the Kreg jig, your choice of wood, either poplar, oak, your preference. This is just an easy way to make doors. I had to make 60 of them, so I needed to find a way to make them easy. So let's get into making these doors, and I'll show you what I did, and hopefully that'll help you guys. All right, so we got our cut list. So the rails are gonna be, or the stiles, I'm not sure what they call these. I'm pretty sure they're called rails. They're gonna be 25 and 7/8, and the stiles are gonna be 14 and 11/16. So what we're gonna do, because we don't want to put the Kreg onto the rails. So what I do to get the holes exactly where I need them is I line the wood up to the edge of the Kreg jig, and then I lock it down, and I'll show you the reason why I do this. So that's the first one. Second one, we're just gonna put on the other side. The reason why I do that is I need to be a 1/4 inch off of both sides. So when I route, the router won't hit the screw. So now we gotta get the other side. It just makes it easier for me to remember exactly where I'm placing the Kreg. That's one. Now I know some of you guys might say, why don't I just use the two Kreg holes close together? If I do that, if I use these, then it becomes directly in the middle. I don't want them directly in the middle. I want them side by side, but with a space. The other thing I like to do is take a piece of sanding block and just sand where I made the pockets. All right, so those are done. So now what we need to do is go ahead and line this up. Now the only bad thing about this is we're gonna have to screw it together and then take it apart. And there's a reason for that. So I'm using the soft plywood screw, 1¼ inch from Kreg. All right. Okay, so we got the frame done. Now the one thing you want to check before you go in to do anything else is you want to check the square. So we got 35 and 1/8. Now we're going to go to this corner, and we have 35 and 1/8. So we know that this door is completely square. So the second thing is, what I like to do is I like to make a template. So on the type of doors that I'm making, whatever router bit that I'm using, edge forming or slot cutter, I like to make a template. And the reason for that is because you have a very thin strip of wood for you to insert your panel. Because of the design that we're putting on this door, we are going to lose almost 3 times the thickness. So I make a template, and that template is for when I got the router. Now I know that my bit is 100%. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and route and put the decorative edge around the door. So to do that, I need to have some blocks. And the reason for that is because I don't want the router bit to hit the table. Sorry, couldn't think for a minute. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and route the inside and put an edge form around the whole edge. So I like to keep the router at about 4 so we don't get any burns. We have the decorated edge. And if you come look at this, you'll see the edge that I put on it. I put a 2-line with a bevel edge, which makes the door look absolutely beautiful. So the second thing is, when you're routing, always do the front side first. So your decorated or your architectural design, route that on the front first before you put the slot in. Now, most of you guys are not gonna have 2 or 3 routers. I do, so I'm gonna use it. Second thing is, we wanna make sure that we have the depth right. And that's why I make a template. So I know that this is 100%. And it just makes setup a lot easier. So now we're gonna go ahead and cut this slot in. Same thing, I keep it on about 3 or 4. All right, so now that we have the slot to take the panel, you don't want to rush it. Whatever you do, you want to take it nice and slow, nice and even. Keep the router flat. If it jumps, you have no space at all. If it jumps, basically, if it jumps on the back, well, then the back is ruined. You got to change the boards. And if it jumps on the front, well, I'll just build a new door. So a pro tip, but now when I buy these boards, they come in at 2.5 inch. I like the cabinet doors to be 2 1/4, so I always cut them down. But don't throw away the cut-off pieces. It's a pro tip. The reason for that is, if you want to joint boards, you can use your router or you can use your table saw, slot in a groove, put that piece in there, put another piece next to it, glue it up, and now it becomes even stronger because it's a filler. Now, remember I told you guys that you have to take the doors apart. Now that's the only thing that, bothers me, is that they come out really beautiful, but you gotta assemble them, cut them, disassemble, glue them, reassemble. So let's go ahead and pull these screws out right now. Now, I do one side at a time. The reason why I do that is so I don't get the pieces mixed up. So now I want to make sure that I am right on the size panel that I need. Now I did pre-cut the panel. Okay, so now that we have the one side removed, we're gonna take the panel, we're gonna dry fit the panel. Oh, almost forgot one thing. So what I do is I take a block sander and I go along the edge. Just a few passes. And the reason why I do that is because I'll show you, it's going to round the edges. And I like the long block sander. It makes it much easier when I have to score the bottom. And I do it on all 4 sides. So you see that edge right there? It's nice and smooth. And what that enables us to do, now we gotta be careful when we slide it in. Slide it in. Be careful when you slide it in. You don't wanna mess up. All right. Now, the only tricky part is getting it on this side as well. Okay. Sometimes it gives you a little trouble getting in, but we'll get it in. All right. Just be careful when you're putting the panel on the door, because remember, there's like a 1/16 of an inch wood on the opposite side. Okay. All right, that went in beautiful. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna turn this around. We're gonna get the glue. You're not gonna glue the panel. We're only gonna glue and we don't want a lot, so we don't want squeeze out. All right. Now this might be a little tricky, guys, but we will get it. Let me move this over here on the side so I have space to maneuver. All right, there we go. Beautiful. All right. So now I'm gonna use the demo to pop it up here so that I can put it back together. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put one side back together. All right. All right, so now let's do the other side. Same way we did the front side. All right, so let's get the other side in right now. We don't want a lot of glue, just a little bit. Alrighty then. Now we'll go ahead and get the other side. Now we'll go ahead and put these screws back in on this side. All right. And now, so as you guys can see, I'm gonna rub my nails. They don't get caught on any one of these. Oh, we have a little one right here, a tiny, tiny bit. But nothing a sander can't take out. So now what I like to do, the last step that I like to do is go ahead and grab the sanding block again. And just sand over, even though it's not sticking out, but there is some glue, and by sanding this, the dust will go ahead and sink into the crack. And then we do the final step. All right, now we do the front real quick. Okay, and now for the final step. So we're going to use another edge forming bit, which is a 45 degree. I'm going to place that into the router. We want this router. And now what we're trying to do is match up the sides to give it that angle look for the door handle or knobs, whatever, you know, my wife prefers. But always take the battery out before you change the router bit. So this is an edge forming quarter round. I'm sorry, 45 degree angle. And we're gonna pop that in there and I'll show you what it does. And you always wanna make a test cut on something before you do it on the door. Because you wanna make sure that it's what you really want. You might, you know, do it on the door, and then you finally realize, you know, I don't like it. It's too much of an angle, or there could be many different things that can go wrong with that. So always put it on a test piece first. So now we're gonna do a 45 degree angle on the side of the panel. And remember, take it slow, keep your router speed at about 3 to 4, and then go ahead and start it. And don't start it on the joint. Okay, now we get that little piece that we missed. All right, so now the last thing that I will do, I'll take a block sander again and just go along the edge with a 220 grit. Not hard, very, very soft. You don't want to put too much pressure on it, because you're not trying to you're not trying to sand it down. You're just trying to get the burrs. So this I'm not happy with. Something happened here, and I don't know what happened here. So let's. All right. So I guess it jumped up a little bit, so there was a little wave motion, but that's not a problem. We can fix that very easily. All right, so what we have is a nice, beautiful door. Very quick, takes about 15-20 minutes to do it. All you need is one screw gun. I mean, I do have multiple, so I use them. One router, one screw gun, tape measure, the wood, and you have yourself a beautiful door. And if you look closely, there's no waves at all. No waves. Everything matches. All the seams matches. And the 45 looks absolutely incredible. It's nice and smooth. No waves. And there's a cabinet door. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you find the video helpful, please share it. If you haven't already, and you like the content, hit that subscribe button. We will have a lot of videos coming soon. We're just waiting on certain equipment right now so we can really get the shop together to bring you guys exciting videos. But because I had to make 60 doors for the new kitchen, the bathroom, the vanity, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how I made the doors real quick. And also, if you look at the back, it's a very, like a 16th or an 1/8 of an inch line all the way around. It's almost nice and flush. This little knot doesn't matter, we're never gonna see it. And then I'll hand it off to my painter, and my painter will go ahead and paint this the gray color that this one's gonna be, and you have a beautiful door. So I will see you guys on the next video. Like, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you. Ciao. So this one is off. Son of a monkey's uncle. I like that. That's beautiful. Why are you filming this?
Oh, go.
Why are you pressing that?
I didn't press it.